Before I start, I wanted to know about Smriti, the early days, the school days, the college days, the life of Smriti.
I'm a Chandigarh girl, a very small town.
Not a small town really now.
Not now, but I think 30 years ago, very, very small town, very little exposure. So we lived a very simple life. I come from a middle class home. My mother is a teacher and my father worked in the services for the country. He was in the Navy, and Chandigarh was just the perfect place for us. It was simple. You went, you got a good education, and I always thought I'll become a teacher someday, which today I am, so I feel happy. But that's...
And your mother would be happy, no?
Yes, because my grandmother was a principal in a school. My mother's a teacher, a retired teacher now, and now I am. So three generations teaching, so we enjoy it.
Smriti, when I hire someone, the first question I ask is who all are there at home and what your parents do. And whenever I found anyone coming from a background where mother or father is a teacher, the first green flag is there. Out of 10, 3-4 marks are there.
Are there? So did I get more marks?
Yeah. You know why? Because I think the teachers raise their kids very well, disciplined kids. They know their boundaries. Many of our team members are from that background where their mother or father is a teacher and they are very well disciplined.
So I think it's a compliment for both, for my parents and for me who is raising 2 kids back home. So yes.
Let's get started. So Smriti, after 2 decades, or I would say 20 years with a senior role already, what made you decide to go back and pursue a doctorate?
I always wanted to. Rohit, let me start that way. I always wanted to do it, but a PhD took a very long time. It took 5 years in India to reach defense, and it could take 3 to 6 years after that to even clear your defense. People who enter a PhD usually enter for a decade. They know that they're going to research and stay there. I wasn't very sure about that. When you come from middle class homes, you really want to get into industry. You want to start working after your masters, and I think that's the only thing that kept me away. The reason I did it now is because I could work and the flexibility to study and live a dream that was always there. So I think it's the flexibility that online education provides today, that you can continue working, your work doesn't stop, but you can also add another feather. So I think it was that.
So did you spoke to the people who were pursuing earlier?
There wasn't anyone. I'm the first in the country to complete a DBA. So there was no one before me.
What was a particular moment when you knew this was something you had to do?
The moment I got to know it's online and I can continue working, look after my children and not have to leave the country or the city to go and pursue. I knew I was going to do it.
How long that research took? Because this was a new concept. The DBA was...
No, I got the mail that day. I signed up that day. The next day I was a student. Yeah, okay. Very quick.
So for those who do not know the difference, how would you describe DBA compared to a PhD, and why did a DBA make sense for you?
A PhD is academic. You go into a PhD when you want to improve academic research. When I say improve, it could be also extend. So there is a theory, you want to extend it as the relevance today. A DBA is very different. A DBA is you go from industry, you want to solve a problem, you solve the problem and then you come back. So what happens is there is 5 years of academic research for a PhD, and in a DBA it could be 2 years, 2.5 years. You take a problem from industry, solve it, come back and put it back into industry. So it's very relevant. It's an extension of what you did in your MBA, but a very high scale because you're researching, and it has a lot of depth because you need to understand maybe 360 degrees as to what this problem is and how is it going to impact people.
So you can take your own topic from your relevant industry for the research work?
Yes. Okay. And complete it and come back to industry and prove it to the industry that I have done the pilot. Now we can scale it. So it's even more relevant because your industry believes you. Tomorrow your office will believe you that she has done a pilot, and when she comes back, so if you do a pilot with 100 people, you can go back and do it with 700, and that's what I did. I did a pilot with 100, and today my PhD is looking after houses 700 of them.
And how do you find a mentor for that?
The university gives you a mentor according to your course. So for example, you have a topic and the university shortlists someone with the experience in that industry. So the mentors also come from industry. Okay. So they've been in industry for a very long time. They know how problems are solved and what the industry needs. So it's 2 of you now. So it's you with 15 years of experience, for example, your mentor 15 years of experience, together 30, and then you go and solve a problem, which helps a lot of people.
So there's a common belief that doctorate means heading into academia. How true is that in your experience?
I think both. It opens both doors. Today I'm working in academia and in industry, so I continue my job as I always loved doing. I was always in industry and I continue working today, but it also opened the role of an adjunct professor. So who is an adjunct professor? Someone who takes 1 or 2 classes and can take a course, but over a period of time. It's not full time, but you still enjoy doing it. I think that's a door, that's an opportunity that becomes available. Both
and that adjunct faculty comes from a industry, I guess.
Yes, always, because they come with experience. They are the ones who know what's happening in industry. And the interesting part is, today every university wants somebody from industry, because students like knowing what's happening in the real world. They are going to go into the real world.
So Smriti, I guess that was a gap which we found out, that today's degrees need a co-curriculum in association or integration with the industry.
Right.
Not only DBA, but all the master program, all the bachelor
yes.
programs. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's why you will see in less than a year, we have more than 6,000 DBA scholars today, only with one university. So you can imagine how many opportunities still await.
Yeah. How is a Doctorate of Business Administration particularly earned online from an international university viewed in India today?
I think it's not about online. It's the standards of the university that you bring. It's the rigor that you bring. So it's not about, I think the entire world went online post-COVID. So online was never a question. We live in a digital world today. I think we do everything online, from ordering food to even meeting our spouse, for example, or staying in touch with our children far away. So I think that's where the world is going.
I was in conversation yesterday with someone. It's only the modes of the vehicles which have changed.
Yes.
The destination remains same.
Yes.
If you're studying online or offline, the modes changes, but the destination remains same.
It's still to acquire education. It's still to make a difference to society. So I completely agree with you. Yeah.
In your own experience, did the doctorate changes how you were seen at work, in meetings, or across the industry?
Of course, there's so much of credibility. More than how people see you, it's about how you see yourself. You're capable of answering and questioning complex ideas. You're able to see complex ideas from different perspectives. What does industry do is, industry gives you experience and academia gives you evidence. By doing a DBA, you have both experience and evidence to back up that there is a problem, we found a solution. So now, by your experience, you find a solution, and now you have evidence because you have a published paper, you're a published author.
There's a nameplate outside your gate.
Absolutely.
How did you balance the research and coursework with the demanding full-time role?
I think if you're passionate about it, there is no balancing. It's always about
finding time.
Yes, finding time. Always, yeah.
For what's important, yeah. What was the hardest part, and was there a point where you thought of stopping it?
Always.
Because
there are so many hard
keeping
parts.
on with the motivation.
There'll be many hard parts, and I think it's the difficult times that test what you're in for. If you can answer the question as to why you started it in the first place, you will always continue.
Yeah, we talk about everywhere, because whenever you're leaving something, ask yourself, why did you start it?
Why did you start? And if you know why you started it, you're not going to leave it.
So that was your motivation mantra?
Always, always, yes.
Your doctoral work looked at AI and its impact on training and performance. What is it something that you discovered that genuinely surprised you?
Confidence. People are not looking at technology alone. If people understand technology, they're very happy to use it. And I'd like to give an example here. India is one of those countries that went UPI.
The invention of UPI.
Yes. And we went across at very, very large scale. So it's about capability building. How do we make an environment where everyone can use digital payments? Today, you don't need a smartphone. You need a scanner. And everyone's using the digital mode of payment. And it just shows that if a country wants to, they can. So you can imagine the impact. I think it's the confidence that I discovered. So it has no longer a role to play about whether we can do it. It's about how we build confidence amongst people as to what this can do for them. So I think that's what I discovered.
So apart from zero and apart from chess that we have invented in our country. UPI is the next best thing that I'm proud of my country that we have.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we have the highest
Transaction across the world. Yeah. And now it is being accepted pan-Asia, and I'm sure it soon it will get started in Europe and other part of the world.
I think we're all over, so I'm very sure we'll take it out. Yeah.
Did the research challenges anything you had long believed from your own years in the industry?
I always believed, and the reason I did this is because I feel if people know and understand their capability, they can achieve so much. It's just the awareness that's not there as to how capable each one of us is. And that's exactly what my research focused on. How can we ensure people perform better, feel happy, and stay in their jobs? You don't have to necessarily change your job if you're happy. And you don't necessarily have to not work long hours. It could be anything depending on what you like. So as long as you know what your capability is, I think.
Smriti, what do you think a professional who has done their masters and who are in the industry, what experience should they have before going for a PhD, before thinking of doing a DBA, a doctorate?
I think what they need to have is they should be willing to say that, I really want to make a difference to the world, not just to their thesis. Yes, because that's the impact. When you write a thesis, it goes to policymakers, it gets read by researchers,
it gets published everywhere.
Yes, so that is the power of your research getting published, which otherwise you don't get an opportunity to. So I think that's the biggest advantage you have.
Any plans of writing a book, Smriti?
I already did.
Okay.
Yes, I already did with the dean of my college. And it is.
I didn't knew that.
Yes, I already did. So during the PhD, you get many opportunities. I started with writing a chapter in a book, and when that chapter, from writing a chapter to becoming an editor of the book with the dean of my college, is a good opportunity.
So for our viewers, a brief of that book, and where can we find that?
It's about AI agents, and it's on Amazon.
Okay.
The rise of AI agents. Yes, it's on Amazon.
Your work centers on scaling AI without eroding trust at work. What does that look like inside a real organization?
Inside a real organization, it shows that AI doesn't take your job. That's a myth. People who understand AI stay relevant because technology keeps changing and we all adapt. So it's not about you getting obsolete, it's about you reskilling. The word upskill also has changed to reskilling.
Reskilling, yeah.
If you reskill and stay relevant with the growing technology, and we all need that. We all want it the easier way. So we are the ones inventing technology, and we can stay relevant. So
any particular example in your industry that you have seen that particular job role has acquired AI skills and become more productive for that company or in industry?
Of course, healthcare. So what we saw in healthcare is there are so many things that if they are automated, it could help people very, very quickly. So I'll give you an example of an emergency room. There are so many times people come into an emergency room but might not understand the language. AI can translate. So it's not compromising, but it's just translating so that a person who doesn't understand, say for an emergency can happen to anyone. You might not know the language, but an AI can translate your emergency to the person who understands it. It could be as small as that, just translating the language, and it can be as quick as looking at the vitals and telling you which category you need to focus on.
I was reading an article yesterday because what happens in an hospital, in an emergency room, you come with a cause that there's a pain on your left hand side, and there could be a 20 causes, and if you are not able to know exact way of cause, then you will be not able to come on a decision on what should be given to a patient. So AI is helping making doctors that decision.
Yeah, it could be, and I think there is a lot of research that has gone into it in terms of understanding where you need to use it. I'm also a firm believer of understanding where is the data coming from. If we can understand bias, hallucinations, we'll be careful of how we are using. That's where the trust comes in. Which tool are you using? You can't be using ChatGPT to, for example, fix a problem at home, a medical emergency, but a correct tool that was meant for its purpose. I think that is something I would like to share with you. Understand which tool was made for what. A washing machine was made to wash clothes. A car was made to take you from A to B.
Right.
So if you understand which tool you're using, so for example, today we hear a lot of young children are using tools like ChatGPT to discuss personal problems. It wasn't made for that. but technology suddenly started answering questions it wasn't made for. I think that's where the bias has come in, that's where hallucinations have come in, that's where the problem has come in, that we don't know what to do with that technology. But if we use technology for what it was made and built for, we will see an impact in the good way, in a positive way.
What would you say to an experienced professional who's considering a doctorate but feels hesitant?
Take it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Nothing like education. It adds so much value. So there is one thing that the doctor helps you understand. So people think a doctor in front of your name opens doors, but you also need thinking to stay inside the door that you open. I think that's what is important today.
Looking back, what did this journey give you that you didn't expect?
That the journey will start after you become a doctor. I always thought the journey was becoming a doctor. I never knew that it starts after you get published. You get published, you get an opportunity to be in the academic world. You enjoy your job so much more because you understand it from a different perspective, from evidence, from experience. So I think that's what I discovered, that the journey actually starts after you complete, not during your research work.
Smriti, one last question. A learner who's opting for a DBA, what hours they should dedicate a week or in a month to complete this DBA, and how difficult is it to pursue a DBA? Because again, getting a doctor title isn't an easy job to do.
So I think I will answer it differently. If you're passionate about something, you will spend hours and enjoy it. But if you're going to question how many hours I need and will I be able, you can do anything that you put your heart to. If you're passionate about it, you're still going to drive home, right? So you're still going to read something. So it depends whether we want to spend those hours on Instagram for hours together, or we want to read a research paper and say, you know, I added something to my knowledge.
I always quote an example that there was a country who believed in a process of making man to reach a moon. There was someone.
Yes.
Then he didn't thought that how difficult it was because nobody did it.
Yes.
The first president of America, when he was going to say all the best to the astronaut who was going from US to space, he saw a man who was cleaning the toilet.
Yes.
Then he asked him, what are you doing here? Then he replied him, I'm helping a man to reach
the moon.
The moon, yeah.
Yes. I think if we own anything, it can take 2 hours and you can still be happy, and it can take 10 hours and you can still be unhappy. So I think it's not the amount of hours, it's how passionate you are about wanting to do something.
Yeah. This will be my key takeaway from this conversation, that anything you are passionate about, anything, be about your relationship, be about your work, your ambition, or anything, you can pursue anything.
Yes. And I think I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome, most welcome.